hello, everybody, and welcome to the Connecticut Esports Podcast. We'd like to welcome you back here for the 4th episode. The Connecticut Esports Podcast is focused on telling the stories of amazing people around the state that are doing things in the gaming and esports arena. We are also looking to battle stigmas. This is an industry that people believe in, that they fight for, and we really just want to bring people on and have conversation, have a good time, and address some of these major issues so that we can push the industry forward. Tonight, I would like to thank a couple of sponsors. We have Achilles Nest, our local vineyard, who has provided some drinks for the evening and continues to be a supporter of the organization. We have Reverie Brewing, who has also been an amazing supporter, and then Uncle Matt's Bakery, who has provided us with some pastries that hopefully everybody here has had a chance to have. Next, I would like to introduce our hosts. So tonight we have with us Dr. Roger Karamanica from Post University, the director or the program chair of Gaming and Esports Management, as well as Sports Management. We have Tea Lionetti, who is an events coordinator at CVS Etna. And tonight, I am so excited to introduce our guest. Tonight, we have Dr. Anna Cutaia, the Superintendent of Milford Public Schools, somebody that I admire immensely and have been so lucky to have been able to be a very short part of their journey in the school district, building an esports culture. So welcome to the pod, Anna. It's a pleasure to have you.
Hey, thanks.
Woo-hoo.
Appreciate you asking me to be here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're going to kick into this with some questions from Taya. I think you're going to take it off, and we're going to get comfortable. I'm going to have a few sips of my drink, and we're going to get rolling.
Sounds good. I mean, with any good story, we kind of got to start at the beginning, right? So talk to us a little bit about your journey into education.
Wow, way back.
Yeah.
I think every teacher has this story about, well, I used to set up a classroom in my basement, and I invited all the neighborhood friends to, I sort of was that girl.
Yeah.
You know? I was born in the Bronx, and, you know, they say you can take the girl out of the Bronx and can't get the girl out
Yes.
That's me.
Yeah.
And we moved upstate to Mahopac, New York, and mom and dad, immigrant family, Italian, Sicilian, and, you know, they just wanted the American dream for us. And so anything they could do to give us an education, it was all about that. Going to college was never an option. Chasing your dreams. So I always had my mom just whispering in my ear, like, you go, girl, you do. You reach for the stars, you dream big, whatever you do, whatever you want to do, just go, right?
Yeah.
And I really owe so much to her for where I am today. So I just feel like teaching has always been in my veins, in my blood, pumping through my veins. And so I never really saw myself as anything but a teacher. I did veer off that path for a little bit in high school, thinking, oh, I don't know, maybe. But I think when something's meant to be, it happens in life, right?
Definitely.
So, I feel that.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah. So now, before the position that you're in right now, where were you within education? Which grade level? Which subject?
So, you know, you just never know where life will take you.
Yeah.
And so I started off as a teacher, special education, middle school, then elementary. And can I take you back to the 90s for a minute?
Yeah, let's do it.
Please.
Great generation.
Okay, so-
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. Not in the boy band era per se, but in the world of technology for a minute. Okay, so I'm an elementary school teacher in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, by the way.
Ooh.
Wow.
And the desktop with the, help me out, not the little square floppy.
I'm looking at Roger.
The 32, 64, something.
Yeah. Okay.
Those desktops just came out.
The Commodore 64 or that's
The
earlier.
next one. No, it was
Okay.
so the next one.
Yep.
And my principal bought 5 of them, desktops, on a rolling wheel desk.
Okay.
And he didn't know what to do with them, so he shoved them in a storage closet. And I'm a 5th grade teacher. I am the last classroom on the end of the hallway, as far as from the office as you can get. All right, now I'm telling a story that I have not told often.
Okay. We're getting some great knowledge here. I love it.
This is perfect.
And so I'm buddies with the custodian. I said, hey, Al, can you unlock that storage room for me? Yeah. So I grabbed 5 of my students, and I'm like, you see that desk? You're rolling them into our classroom. And I thought I was being like super cool. We plug them in. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Right.
The kids don't either. But of course, they catch on quickly.
Exactly. Yep.
So suddenly I have 5 working computers in my 5th grade room.
Wow.
And I thought I was being slick. I'm getting away with it for like a whole week. So I'm, doing my teaching thing, and there's my class of 5th graders, and I turn around, and there's the principal sitting at my desk.
No. Oh my God. Uh-oh.
And he's gone, and when I get back to my desk, there's a note. Please come see me at the end of the day.
Dun, dun, dun. Uh-oh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yep.
And so I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to sign my letter of resignation.
Yep.
I'm out, right?
Yep.
And he said, so, you know what you're doing with those things? I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
Fake
And he
it till you
goes,
make it, right? Yeah.
Like, I had to pretend.
Yeah,
like, right? I'm going
100%.
to no, the kids know better more than I, right?
Right. Yep.
And I want to say that was the start of my tech journey, because he said, good, because I'm buying 25 more, and you're going to be the first elementary school computer lab teacher in the district.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
And so we set up a lab for elementary kids. Now, I know that doesn't sound like a big deal in 2025, but in the 90s, having a desktop for 25 kids in one room, and then not only did he do that, but he bought one for every classroom.
No way.
Yes.
Whoa.
He was progressive.
He was super
that's ahead of the
progressive.
curve.
Progressive.
Yeah.
I became the full-time computer lab teacher
Yeah.
for elementary kids, started taking kindergarten through 5th grade, bringing kids in. Guess what? We were using Microsoft Publisher. And I had the only computer in the room on dial-up.
Oh my God.
And I
for
projected
the
the World Wide Web.
Wow.
Crazy.
So that was my
what's the-
intro to technology.
What's the World Wide Web?
What?
I
That's
love
amazing.
it. That's awesome. So you were exposed to technology in a classroom at such an earlier stage in your career. How has that journey been with incorporating gaming as the years have gone on? We're Connecticut Esports. Let's talk where that kind of attention got drawn into you of like, oh, wait, esports is a thing. We could do that on the computer with the students. How is that journey?
I just wonder if gaming has always been part of education and engaging students, right? You guys remember the Oregon Trail?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And then I, as a child, remember the single joystick Atari, Donkey Kong, Asteroids, Pac-Man. We had one of those, right?
Oh, love Pac-Man.
And then I have a 32-year-old son who's currently a gamer, and his wife is a gamer.
So it's been there.
It's been in my background,
right? Exactly.
And so I also have this little streak of me that I'm always just looking to innovate and like what's next.
Yeah.
I tell my bosses I sort of walk around with like a 5-year plan in my head, and I'm looking for so what is the next thing for our young people, right? And how do I at least open the door, create the foundation, or plant the seed? Like those are just some leadership strategies of mine.
Totally.
And sometimes you're just planting seeds.
Correct.
And that's okay.
Right.
And sometimes you're going to kick open the door, right? Or gently open it. And if we're being completely honest, when I was introduced to the idea of esports or gaming, I think it was my son actually, and he said, Mom, I could probably make money doing this. I'm like, oh, now that's mom saying, I need. It's
What do you mean?
Yeah,
exactly.
and this is a few years ago, and he's, going to get married. I'm like, wow. Okay, I need you to be a man and get a real job. And
that stereotype, yep.
So I'm, guilty. And I thought, well, you're going to get a degree and you're going to get a real job. And then if this other thing happens and works for you, then great.
Of course. Because what parent wouldn't want that, specific security for their child?
And it's like the parallel of I'm going to be a football star. I'm going to be a basketball star,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
Somebody connected it to being a movie star today. They're like, maybe the YouTuber of today or the pro gamer is like, I was going to be a movie star. Now I'm going to be a YouTuber.
It's definitely that reach goal, that 1 in a million get it, right? People see it that way. And you sound like every parent I talk to almost every day. So you're amongst a lot of good company.
What I've learned is that it's much more than just, and I don't mean to say just, but it's much more than the gamer.
Correct.
Yep.
Right? There's a whole world of that. So I think when Julie Nash, the at the time economic director of Milford, the city of Milford, reached out to me and said, OMG, there's this guy, like, I don't know, like, did you have like some fancy title, like top 30, under 30?
Yeah, you did.
Like
Yes,
under
he did.
30
Yes,
watch
he did.
list.
It was Forbes 30 under 30, but I don't talk about it.
What was that, Forbes? Did I hear Forbes 30, under 30? Oh, yeah.
But he doesn't like when we talk about it.
Some like hot shot guy I met at a conference. And we're always passing things around. Hey, Julie, have this tip or this person, and I'm like, okay, like, all right, I'm a busy superintendent. And so then with great persistence, she goes, no, we really need to meet this guy. I'm like, okay, you have my attention. So that's sort of like how we got there.
Yeah.
And not completely by my own initiative, but again, like when something is meant to happen in life, it comes together, right?
Definitely.
And I don't know if we want to talk about this yet, because I know it's early in the podcast, but the day you came to our schools, Mark, it was for me professionally career changing. Like esports was not on my radar until I saw. Not necessarily you, even though you're a rock star. Forbes 30 under 30. Can we come up with a new nickname on that for you?
I would love that. I think we should work on that.
I could not agree more.
30F30 or middle name. Can it be like a gaming handle?
That's your new gamer tag. We gotta work into
that.
I think we need to work that into a new gamer tag for you.
There's nobody in my life that would be thrilled by that decision.
Emily's like, we're so over this. I mean, like, do we have to really revisit this? While you are a rock star, when I saw our kids, done.
Yeah.
Sold.
And
I was in.
Yeah. And that was the mobile unit that Affinity does that came to the school? Is that what that was?
No, it was.
You were just there for
even lower stakes than that.
Oh, no
Taya.
kidding.
You tell the story.
And Julie was amazing, right? She pushed it forward. She said, I'm going to get you there. And this was like a new thing. Like the business was about a year old, and I'm trying to take on whatever speaking engagements I can to support and grow what we're doing here, right, with Connecticut Esports. But she basically set this whole thing up, and I think you were doing a couple of sessions, and this was one of them that was going to be focused on gaming and esports. But she got me in, and basically Julie, I think ChatGPT was really popular, so she got us kind of a draft set of questions, and we did like a fireside chat in front of both high schools.
We did, and we just said, hey, we're doing this esports thing, come to the auditorium.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a force like if you go to tech ed class, you must come to this thing. Right. And first of all, I didn't know what I was talking about, so I'm glad that ChatGPT gave me some questions to ask.
Right, of course.
Hello, Mark. Tell me about check cue card esports, right? Like, I was like, I was faking it.
It was
right.
It was unbelievable though, right? Because we're having this conversation, and you've got all different kids, all different beliefs, backgrounds, and right. I'm sure you'll get to that and kind of the feeling at the closing of it. But as we're talking, It was everything from like we did questions, we did our Q&A, and then we opened it up to the audience. But the kids wanted to know what games I played and what the ranks were, and I mean and then it was just this mix of like, and then they were asking questions about, well, when can we bring this into the school? Like what they put her on the spot. I was like, that's pretty bold.
So first of all, immediate cred. You started talking this foreign language suddenly that they understood.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, I better learn this language. Right.
Right.
So first of all, I'm one of those adults that try to stay as cool as possible, but fail terribly at it.
Same. I'm with you.
Like you hit this certain age and you're like, yeah, I'm like one of those old people I used to look at and like, yeah, they're trying to be cool. Yeah. All right. I own that.
Right.
I am totally embracing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, there's this language, I better learn it. Right. So hopefully today I'm better at it than a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. But the way they gravitated to you, I thought there's a need. Mm-hmm. So I have this belief, non-esports or gaming, that a couple of theories here for me, that it just takes one adult to make a difference in a child's life. And that adult doesn't always have to be mom and dad or a relative or someone that lives at home. And as an educator, I believe oftentimes it's an adult that they encounter at school. So there's this going to be adult that's going to be life-changing, right? Mm-hmm. And there are lots of studies in the world of resiliency that demonstrate that kids who have made it through hard times, and you interview them later in life, they hearken back to a significant adult in their life. And it's not always mom and dad. And I'm saying to myself, we need the Marks of the world to be in our gamers' lives, because I also saw there were a lot of kids that we would identify them as probably fringe kids, or kids looking for a community. The second part of what I believe in is that as an educational system, we have a responsibility of helping kids find their community or developing an environment so that their community can come together. Because especially today, socially, kids have a hard time finding their community.
Yes.
And I thought, there is community in this auditorium right this minute. And I wanted to make sure that we were going to put these adults in these kids' lives and give them their community.
Yeah.
And I was completely converted that day when I saw our kids. So like when I'm talking to people who aren't exactly on board with these sports, it's so hard to convey. As I'm speaking right now, like there's this like welling up in my chest of a feeling as I'm talking about our kids, because they are vividly in my mind as I'm talking about them. That's why we're doing this in Milford. It's not because we want a video arcade and all those disparaging things that are often said. And I have to say, not by a lot, because our community in Milford is incredibly supportive.
Great community.
Incredibly supportive.
Definitely.
But in any community, there's going to be that fringe talk, right?
Yes.
But for the most part, thank you, the city of Milford.
Yes.
For just knowing that our kids need that community.
Yes.
And that there's a future, that this is a recognized sport.
It is.
And I'm running way ahead on topics right now.
No, that's great. You know, I think one of the things that jumps out at me in your conversation is, and as an educator, is you saw that spark.
Yeah.
Right. You work with young adults, young people, and you see them look for you said find your community, and so often we see this in the gaming space where you look around and you see a spark, and as an educator, right, I see the passion. You're like, I see the spark. All right, I gotta help fan that flame. And that's exactly what gaming can do. And I love that you're leaning into it, because it's kids that haven't had an opportunity to, find their people, find their niche, find, the things that drives them forward. And I love that you saw that and found that in that event, that the, kids were showing that spark.
Definitely.
I think when the event ended or when we wrapped at each school, there was this kind of, and I think it was that moment, right? Like we spoke on stage, and then you see how the kids are engaged in the audience. And then it was overwhelming for me too, in the sense that, they could have just been like, well, I got my free period, or I kind of got to sit here. And they didn't. The majority, if not all of them, right, the overwhelming majority, came forward to the front of the auditorium, and it was like, hey, can I grab a card? Hey, like, tell me more about this game, or what, I want to know more about your hours at Affinity. I'd love to come, visit the
engagement,
the
excitement.
And then some of the kids popped up. I'll never forget this. They popped up their Nintendo Switches.
Yeah.
Right. They were there, and they wanted to show, like, hey, like, I'm playing Smash, and they were getting some games in. And you had traditional athletes. You had, again, like, tall kids, short kids, like everything you could possibly imagine, and they were just there, like, around this joint thing, and we see it over and over and over again. And totally. That's what I always come back to, and I think Anna says something very similar. But for me, I'd rather create a space for people. When we have an opportunity, I don't want to get caught up in the noise around, I'm just going to say, content of games. And we can debate that all day. Some of the other noise around it being not productive, it's so much, for me, is so much about, again, this just keep creating a space for people that's comfortable and that's safe. And I've been amazed to see everything that's taken place from that day forward. It's just unbelievable.
100%.
It's a great story.
100%.
And it's beautiful if you were to look out on that auditorium. Sorry, Taya, but it was just a beautiful collage of young people. And we recently held an open house at Foran High School for our team, and invited elected officials, and so grateful that many came. If you looked across the room of our gamers, like, they were just children from all walks of life,
right?
Shoulder to shoulder, and it was like it was an even playing field. 100%. That it was more about their commonalities than their differences, right? And encouraging each other, and just rooting each other on, and so comfortable engaging with adults about their passion. It was just really, just a great community, great space.
Yeah. And I kind of want to draw a parallel here for a second. The story that you told us of your previous principal, your previous boss, seeing you in this space with the computers and be like, we're going to take a chance on this. You're kind of doing that right now. Huh. I don't know if you realize that.
Thank you, David James. If you're out there, my former principal, thank you.
Shout out.
Yeah, no, Lakewood Elementary.
You are. I mean, you're really, I as someone who has consumed content online and gaming and everything like that for years now, and in my own solitude, to hear you share that you're giving your kids a space, I so wish I could have that when I was that age, because it's such a big community, and not a lot of them are, a lot of them are gamers, but not a lot of them are out about it, or, want to talk about it because they think it's like, this, that, or the other thing. But it's come such a long way from when I was little, and that you're giving them this space. It's amazing. So I also just want to draw that parallel as well. You're doing that
I didn't even think of that. That's
you're
cool.
doing it again.
You.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See, it's crazy what, previous you, kind of looks back on it, your childhood after a while, and you're like, oh, actually, yeah, that's what it came back to. Yeah. I love it. That's awesome.
It's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Good stuff. So I kind of want to shift gears just a little bit and get to know you. I want to get to know you as a gamer.
Oh, boy.
So
I wouldn't call myself a gamer.
You wouldn't call yourself
everybody.
a gamer.
You know what? It's funny when people say that. Now we're going to find out what she actually plays.
We're going to find out
exactly
what she plays.
Yes, exactly. So do you play any games? I know you don't call yourself a gamer, but with gaming and games, it can be a mobile game. It can be console. It can be computer. Is there anything like that? Did you ever play Candy Crush?
Play Tetris. My mom had a problem with that. She told me she played too many hours of Tetris sometimes when I was around. So, do you play Tetris?
No.
Dang it. Have you ever tried any games?
I will tell you that my son probably engaged me the most.
Yeah.
As a parent, anyone that's a parent knows that you have to go to the space where your children are.
Absolutely.
Especially when they hit a particular age, if you want to be part of their lives, right? So up until an age, you make them join you in your community, and then when they start getting their own independent interests. So I thought, all right, I better learn how to play those early versions of Mario Kart, right? And I would try to stay on on the track, and then there's the car one, right? And we would try, I don't know, but how about the flying purple dragon? Spyro.
Yes.
I remember Spyro.
Yeah.
We did that. And then as an adult son, I really just tried. I'm like, all right, Gio, just kind of like help me here. And and then I think I recently, with him here, we visited here, we did something.
You played some Counter-Strike.
Yeah. So I'm not opposed to. But
sure.
I have a little bit of a busy life.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
you don't say. Superintendent has
I think I would be open to it in retirement though.
Now I
Do
think that's
some
up
gaming,
and coming. We're
right?
getting there, into the retirement homes.
Yeah.
Or just retirement, not homes.
Whoa.
Hold up a second.
I like to think that I might have a life after retirement.
Definitely. It doesn't fast forward to that.
And then I can game at home. Like, can I game with my son if he's not there? Right? I think he's on. Is it called Twitch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Twitch.
Streams on Twitch. Yeah.
Do you know his channel name? Shout out, maybe. Oh, we'll have to get that in
such
post.
a bad mom.
We'll edit that. We'll edit that.
We'll edit it in.
Yeah.
Put the link here.
Please. Yeah, no, that I should really know that, right? That would be good.
That's
Mom.
okay. But do you watch his streams?
I have.
See? Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
But I probably need to be taught how to be a consumer of.
Well, Taya.
Right? Because when
and
he goes like right,
Yeah.
and like and I don't know. Oh, I played with him though. Wait.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
See,
Mom,
there you
Mom,
go.
come on,
See?
Mom, like, come on, you gotta come, Mom, you gotta jump over the
Yeah,
wall. Like,
yeah.
But wait, where am I? Like, wait, where are you? Is that you? Am I killing you? Like, I'm so lost.
Yes. Yeah.
So
I probably need some tips.
That's okay.
Can you make me a better mom?
I know a spot. It's called Affinity. You'll love it.
There's one in Milford.
There is one in Milford. Yeah.
It's a great spot.
Can you give me their address?
Yeah, it's 125 Old Gate Lane, right across from Pop's Diner, next to the Edge Fitness, and Boost Oxygen is on the other side. So my mom, I will never forget when we launched Affinity Esports, and to go back a little bit, my mom and I had. Gosh, she's gonna watch this whole thing. She never misses a moment.
That's very
but
sweet.
we had a little bit of there was times where there was tension and there was some contentious moments because to me, I was competing and it meant the same thing to me that soccer meant to me. But soccer, she understood. She could come out on the pitch, right? She could watch and she could see the goals. And then all of a sudden, when it was this virtual world, it was challenging. It was hard to understand it, and I probably didn't do a good enough job of explaining it, right? And so we we see a lot of these programs that are out there try to bridge that gap between parents and kids now, whether it be Fortnite or whatever game it is, right, to help them understand and meet them in their world. But I remember my mom came to me when we launched our first studio, and she just looked at me one day and she said, "God, Mark, did I not support you enough when you were a high schooler, when you were at home and you were passionate about this, seeing what the business was becoming?" And I just remember I said, "No, I think you did the best that you could with the information that you had."
Yeah.
And like you said, Taya, it all comes full circle. So then my mom was coming in and playing Valorant, and it was hilarious. We put her on Twitch. She was streaming like your son, and didn't know what she was doing, but it was this moment where she was actually taking that step to connect in her 70s, taking the step to play Valorant with me. And it's really cool. So it's never too late. And I think there's still time.
And that's the added wrinkle, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned it. Soccer, we can understand soccer, basketball, right? And it's hard enough as a parent to understand that you need to, and what that point is where you have to meet them where they are, right? To you phrase it fantastically, but it's so alien, right? It's so different, and that's to me, the sign of great parenting from both of you. Of we don't know what this is, but we're gonna try, right? And that's what we love to see with the parents that are like, I have no idea what this is, but we're gonna try. And that's exciting when we create opportunities for that to happen.
I feel like we're still in the process of normalizing.
100%, yeah,
Totally.
And it's going to take time
100%.
for generations to better understand. I sometimes wonder what was the evolution of the integrating other athletics into the institution of our nation, right? So how did football just become so normalized in
Basketball,
our high
same
schools,
thing,
right?
yeah.
Basketball, baseball, all that.
Didn't start that way.
Right.
So I'm just wondering, like, maybe when you're in your 70s, Mark,
Yeah.
in the old age home.
Yep. But hopefully a few years between 70 and hitting the home. But
You know, will it be at that point where your children are the adults that it gets to a normalized state? And you know, we have been talking about gaming, but actually that's where I started in my professional understanding. But where I've grown to today is
talk about it.
much further along, right?
Yeah.
So while I 100% support our gamers, I fully believe in the industry of esports. And I think that is my real genuine interest in preparing a career pathway, because while I will 100% like for our athletes on the soccer field, the baseball field, the gymnastics mats, right? I will 100% be their cheerleaders and say, you go, be the all-star, NFL, etc. There are many more careers in those fields that I believe parallel to esports. And that's what I would like to create in Milford. Yeah. And that is a full understanding that there are many jobs and many opportunities in the gaming industry that if we could just get off the dime from gaming, pardon me, to what's happening right here next door, and that is the help me with the vocabulary.
Shoutcasting of a.
Yes, I got it.
You got it.
Shoutcasting.
Shoutcasting and doing the full end-to-end production setup for a playoff match.
Yep. Right. Yep. And the guy who's back here.
Yep. Woo.
Joshua Sear. Woo woo woo. Variation visuals.
Right, and the coding of it and all of it, like, and the coaching of the athletes. Like, there is an entire industry that I can't even speak to yet, but we're doing the research and the preparation to establish a career pathway so that this is something that is existing throughout the school day, right? So if you think about sports and competitive nature of this industry, it's after school, interested gamers come together. That's what happens. But I see you, shaking your head, Roger. Like, you have, firsthand experience of what we're just dreaming of in Milford.
You're speaking my love language. So like, I'm getting excited. You're talking about this and I'm getting excited because it's, you're right where we want to see the industry be, right? You're a vanguard in the space because not only are there careers in the industry, in esports and gaming adjacencies, but there's also the skills that they're learning that the more educators can leverage. They can say whatever you want to do, the critical thinking, the leadership, the communication, all these things that employers want, whatever they go on to be, even if it's not in the space, they're going to apply that learning. We see this all the time. We have folks in criminal justice majors, psychology, and they're applying what they're learning while playing games, the leadership skills, the communication, right? How to deal with conflict resolution, right? What do you do when you get tilted in a game? How do you come back from that? And I love that, you're leaning into this at that level, because, and the more educators can say, what are the domains we're trying to teach and how do games connect to that? And now I can speak their language, and they, to your point earlier, they get connected, they get into it. They're like, oh, okay, I totally understand that now. I didn't understand that assignment when I was sitting in the room, but when you tied it to Rocket League or you tied it to, Valorant, now I understand it. So I love that.
Yeah. I was recently doing a talk down in Miami, and one of my co-speakers, at one point pulled me aside and we're having a chat, and he's giving me all his background. He's a PhD. He's been on nuclear submarines, coding different nuclear codes. He's then shifted paths to research the brain. He's been basically this close to a brain, right? Looking at the ways in which they can remove cancer. Has researched suicide tendencies in doctors. I mean, has just published a book. He handed me his published book. And the conversation led from all of these things to, oh, yeah, no, my kids are both on a youth Fortnite team. I couldn't support it more. I grew up gaming. I learned everything I know today by playing Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. And I almost fell on the floor, right? And we've talked about how the games designed for education don't always work in the way that these traditional, games that are really well thought out, whether it be combat based or strategic or whatever it might be, he was talking about, I learned inventory management, I learned planning, I learned, and this is Tom Clancy. It's a counterterrorism video game, and I'm sitting here. This is a real conversation I'm having with somebody who's very accomplished. Yeah. And able to look back and point to exact things he learned from the experience.
For so long, educators leaned into edutainment, right? And trying to find, are they going to create this game that, none of the kids want to play? Let's just call it what it is, right? It's not what they want to, it doesn't resonate with them. Mm-hmm. And what I love to hear about what Anna's saying is this idea of leaning into what exists in the space and leveraging what they do want to play. And then just looking at, what are the different competencies? What are the domains? What are the skills that they can learn? And that's a great example, right? Of I'm already learning these things. Now, meet me where I am. And that, I think that resonates for, the education process.
100%. Absolutely. The other thing I'll just say on that point is it's an industry where when I played soccer, I got to just show up and play, right? I practiced, I trained, I showed up and I played, but I wasn't thinking about the scheduling. I wasn't thinking about the production. I wasn't coordinating with the other team's captain. At best, I met them at midfield.
Yeah.
To be in gaming and esports, you're expected to do so much more, in part because the infrastructure isn't there.
Correct.
But also in part because I think this industry is actually, as it grows, embracing this end-to-end industry concept, right?
100%.
So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. 100%.
All right. Do we want to, Taya, do you have any other questions, or do we want to kick it over to Roger for?
I really want to kick it over to Roger because I want to hear more about Milford and
Yes.
and what she was able to pass a couple of weeks, a month. Oh my God, has it been a month now?
I
don't know.
It's been about a month.
Find out
soon. About a month, yeah.
That's right.
Fantastic. So a couple things. As somebody else trying to be cool, rearing readers doesn't work, right? So that, gives up the gig. And I want to just, on your story of the computer lab, I was the kid in the 90s that snuck into the computer lab to play on the Apple IIes. So, same kind of situation, but I was on the inverse where I was sneaking into the computer lab because they didn't open it.
I love it.
So, so talk to me a little bit about the space that you're looking to launch and the process that you've been through as you're looking to launch the space.
So I'm going to give a lot of credit to our Board of Education, if I could give them the shout out, because annually we engage in something called a capital improvement plan, and that's when we bring to them multiple years of what larger infrastructure investments would look like that would then go to the city for future bonding.
Okay.
And then those requests go through a process through the mayor's office and then before the final board of aldermen for approval, and then it turns it into a building project. And so when we brought a year ago in May, we brought to them our 5-year capital improvement plan. We had an esports arena further down in the list, so for future years. And we were just celebrating the fact that we were launching an official esports competitive team, and we were talking about how excited our kids are and the great interest we had. And a Board of Ed member said, well, Dr. Cutaia, why are you waiting so long to build the arena? I'm like, oh my God, you're right.
Right.
I would like to make a friendly amendment to our chart and move it up.
Yeah.
And, and they supported that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
They said our kid, it's a now item. It's not a 5 years from now item.
Yeah.
So it really, credit goes to our Board of Education. And then we had the mayor pass that along to the Board of Aldermen. And they are, that goes to Board of Finance and then goes to Board of Aldermen. So pass through those two bodies. And at Board of Aldermen, we knew that there were going to be lots of questions.
Yeah.
One of great interest because it's up and coming. So to some degree, it was, hey, we want to learn more. Cool. And then to some degree, we were up against some of those stereotypical misunderstandings, we'll just call, about why do we need more screen time for kids?
Correct.
Why are we investing money in a video game, right? And those are not disparaging in any way. They're just factual.
Questions.
Yeah, they're valid
nature,
questions.
right?
They're concerns.
Yep.
And so we thought, wow, we better show up. And contacted the mayor's office. I'm like, hey, are you okay if I just share a few slides on this thing? And so we went to work. We got to work about that, and then reached out to a new friend in the industry, Taya, and then of course Mark. Hey, how can we get people to help us out? Just to show that this is legit.
Correct. Yes.
That we're just not making this up. And
Right.
And hey, listen, we should be asked to give lots of details because we're asking for $1 million.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's not just any kind of like chump change, right?
Correct.
So yes, the city should ask us hard questions.
Of
So we're
course.
like, yeah, let's educate people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And little did we know we'd be there till 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
waiting for our turn, right?
Yeah.
Because we were on the list of
Yeah.
many other decisions being made that night.
Yeah.
And here we are, like, just keeping our eyes open at 1 o'clock talking about esports. But hey, you never know what life throws at. That's how we
Correct.
started this conversation, right?
Right.
No,
And
you don't.
It was incredible. So Mark hung in there. Taya, you hung in as long as you could.
I did, yeah.
We had one of your gamers come to support.
Yeah.
We
Parents,
had board
Yes.
members. We had members of my leadership team were there. A couple of our esports coaches were there. And I'll tell you that our board of aldermen had good questions. Like
They
they
did.
let us
Yeah.
talk about the industry
Yes.
of gaming.
Mm-hmm.
They allowed us to help them visualize the dream, right?
Yep.
And when you don't know, you don't know,
Correct.
right? And they were, for the most part, so open to hearing about what do we want for our kiddos. And that's what I love about being in Milford, that there is such a spirit of supporting our children. And so while it was a late night / morning, it passed.
So-
It passed.
that's fantastic,
Yoo-hoo, right? So thank you, Milford. And so we have $1 million. Our vision is to spend $500,000 at law and $500,000 at Foran. And we're calling it the arena that we want to build at both schools. And for me, it was let's give them the respect and the dignity of all the other athletic teams,
Correct.
right?
I love
So
that.
this year we got the jerseys. I don't know what they're called in this field. Jerseys.
The jerseys.
Jersey.
Yeah.
All right,
Same,
jerseys.
yeah.
You nailed it.
You're just
There
crushing
were
I
it.
am
some
working
right
You
now.
know
on
all
my
the-
vocabulary,
You've nailed it.
folks.
You know
right?
the language. You speak the.
Yeah.
I'm learning. We got them the jersey. We have the online spirit wear store, just like
Yep.
the Booster Club has
Booster
for
Club,
the
yep.
baseball team. So anybody could buy the hoodie.
Yep.
They came up. Our students came up with their own logos, the team names.
Yep.
Right, like
Yep.
I love that
we
buy-in.
went all
It's
out.
amazing.
Yeah.
And we had a board of ed, board of finance, board of aldermen that said, yeah, we're going to recognize these athletes.
Yeah.
I love it.
So it goes now to a building committee at the city level, and we're going to start dreaming. Now,
Yeah.
Roger, I don't exactly know what goes into all the details, but through our research and our presentation that night, we did identify 4 to 5 key components that we want to see in arena.
Well, see,
Okay.
it's she's hard to question because she answers your.
100%.
She did this.
And
Okay.
she didn't do the prep, but she's clearly done the
She
prep.
answers all the
I
questions.
do this for a living.
Yes.
So before you go there, what does success look like, right? So tell me about that. What is, we might not know the devils in the details. We don't know exactly everything, but what is winning going to look like for you?
Winning?
Yeah, what is
What?
success, right? So when you get you get it built, right? You get the kids in there, they get playing. What is success? Where you're going to sit there and you go, yeah, this was a successful endeavor.
So, I don't think that answer comes in a concrete or quantifiable way.
Okay.
So while I am grateful and will be grateful for the day that we have an arena, and I can walk through it like I walked through your
Yep.
downstairs reformed area, and I will just be on top of the world that day.
Mm-hmm.
I when we had our open house last week at Foran,
Yep.
and when I'm sent the link to watch some of our kids compete, I don't know, Roger, I feel like we've already hit success.
I love that.
We have that space. We've created that community. And I so much of who I am today harkens back to my mom and dad and the way we were raised, and the humility of being an immigrant family. Like, I just truly believe at the end of the day, it's the simplicity of what life offers you. So as a family, we didn't have a lot growing up, but we had each other, right? So while I am eternally grateful for all the investments and the community support that Milford gives us, at the end of the day, because we have created a space, a community for our kids, we are already there, Roger.
I love that. And you touched upon this, right? Inclusivity, skill development, careers, a space for them to grow and thrive.
A place of belonging is what we like to call it.
There we go.
Yeah.
I love that.
A place
I love
of
that.
belonging.
So, you talked about some of the challenges, some of the, the fringe, questions and the rightful questions that I get all the time, Mark gets all the time, of why gaming, right? How do you think we can come together to start creating a space that accepts gaming more? Do you have thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that you have to just invite people to the space. Like, anything that is forced immediately, anything in life, right?
Yep.
There is the back is up, the resentment, and in Milford, we would like to think that the foundation to all of our learning and successes is relationships.
Love that.
And we approach it with a framework that we have defined over. So what are healthy relationships and what do they look like? So I think all throughout this journey, we're just going to have to be cognizant of continuously inviting people to the table or to the experience, right? So whether it's plug going to Quinnipiac for our state competition, Super Smash Brothers, Smash. Wait, I need to get that right. Mario Kart.
Mario
Kart.
Yes.
Not Super Smash Brothers. That's different.
Yes.
That's a different
It
game.
is
You
different.
might be going for both.
You
No,
could.
I think it's Mario
Kart?
I think.
I know you're going for Mario Kart. I spoke to Jeff last week. So
Yeah. So this is just me trying to learn.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's Mario Kart, yeah. Inviting them to that space, or just like we did last week, open house, or as simple as a kid wearing their jersey out in the community at the local diner.
Yep.
And there is a happenstance dialogue with someone.
Yeah.
And the willingness to just ask a question or listen. Like, I think that is going to be the way to continue to build a level of acceptance and understanding.
I love that.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I really love the fact that, you mentioned this kind of real dialogue and, authenticity, right? And I think it's so powerful when it comes from leaders such as yourself that, wear your heart on your sleeve and you say, I don't really know everything about this, but I'm trying, right? And then you create that authentic dialogue of, look at the spark, right? And then you're sharing, success stories, right? And I think that, that goes a long way. I 100% agree with you.
And especially in the esports community. I, in a previous job, my whole thing was sales, right? So I'm trying to sell the state of Connecticut as a destination to esports planners, right? But I can't, and I learned this very quickly, I can't sell Connecticut as a destination for esports until I get to know the people that are here and know that they want it here and that they are okay with it being invited in. So you have to ingrain yourself in the community when it comes to esports. I feel like more than anything else, than any other sport that I've, sold and, dealt with and all this kind of stuff. So it truly, it's so important to ask those questions and to be genuine about those questions and wanting to get to know the community in esports. 100%.
Agreed.
Yeah. And I'm excited for the arena, even though I'm not in that position anymore. It can eventually be a spot where you host your conference championships,
Yes.
at the college level, at
Collegiate
the
championships.
correct, at the high school level, and all this kind of stuff too. So as much as it's a win, for the community and creating, teaching kids how to man cameras, to shoutcast, to, do the lighting and all this kind of stuff. Again, those career opportunities. It could also be, it's an investment in generating money for your city, for your town, as well. Outside of that,
just two points. The first is the end to end, the effort that's put in, the team that you've put in place. I mean, I don't have enough time to speak about how impressed I've been. I mean, we've been on Discord.
Yeah.
They're top
Fantastic.
notch,
Yeah.
right? Jeff, Lewis, like they are, and the rest of the supporting group. I know there's more than just the two of them.
Go Bids team. They'll know what I'm talking about. They're called the Bids team.
The Bids team. Let's go.
Okay.
They've been exceptional. And part of changing this industry is putting professionals, putting adults. We talk about this a lot. Not always young professionals that are energetic. They have a place and they're so important for the growth. But we need to keep putting adults, real mature adults that can speak the language, understand the industry. And you did that immediately. And you connected them with people. I'm not going to say it was, I think they were decent people to help move the process along, but they really drove it. They're amazing.
Yeah.
The other thing is you commented on wanting the players to feel the same or wanting this to be equivalent to the other sports teams. What you've accomplished, I think, in gaming terms, is a power up to a magnitude we have not seen yet. Affinity
Interpret that, please.
Yeah.
Power up. Okay.
It means I think we're stair stepping into it, right? With organizations like Affinity or Connecticut Esports, or the work that any K through 12 school districts are doing, or colleges and universities. And there's been huge strides in areas, but I do see you in a category with what you guys have accomplished in Milford with these arenas and with the foundation you've laid to take multiple jumps forward, right?
Yeah.
To elevate and to align. I talk about it a lot. I want kids to put on the Affinity Esports brand as an example and be proud. I want people to see the Connecticut Esports logo and be like, I want to be a part of that organization.
Right.
So knowing that you've accomplished, that you're on the path, you've accomplished, like you said, great things, but to expediting that process in your community in Milford, I'm blown away by it. And those kids will be able to, we won't be without challenges, but they will be able to be as proud as the football players.
Definitely.
100%.
That's huge.
Yeah. And
That's huge.
Roger and I have talked about this before because just the esports industry in general, it kind of, it's very big at the grassroots level, and then it's really big at this like huge international stage where we're doing these huge competitions in Dubai and Singapore and all these other places, but the esports industry hasn't taken the time to develop the interior.
The infrastructure.
The infrastructure and the in-between. And you are creating this gap, like you're saying, this stepping stone that it's not just, grassroots level gaming and then huge international stages. You're creating that step in between to make it easier to get for these kids to learn and to grow into that next huge stage. It's key for our industry in general, and it's just amazing. It truly, truly is.
And people will follow that lead.
Exactly.
I think we talked about Taya that night, and I have talked to our city officials since then that, way back when, Milford used to be known as the highlight capital of Connecticut.
I remember though. Yeah.
Yes, we did
might
talk
need
about
to tell
this.
our kids what highlight is.
Yeah.
So why can't we just be the esports capital of Connecticut?
Let's go.
All right, like
I agree.
Yeah, let's put
let's
it on the
go.
map.
I'm in.
Right?
I agree.
Like we have two, little old arenas
Yeah.
on, by the way, 95 and easily accessible by the Merit also.
Yep.
And 2 hours New York City, 2 hours to Boston, fly in.
Yep.
Like
Hotels to stay as well.
And on the shoreline.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
There's a lot of business that comes with competitions, right? People will come and eat in Milford, and
Yes, they will.
they'll come and engage in entertainment in Milford and stay in hotels in Milford. So
That's what we call economic impact at the destination level. It's called economic impact. So it takes the dining, it takes the hotel stays, and like, you know, the average price of what the hotel rooms are, the cost of the event itself. And there's a company called Destinations International that will take all that information and spit out a number of economic impact, the projected, you know, sales tax, state sales tax, you know, the projected just, you know, number that of revenue that this one thing brought in for the entire community. That's exactly what that is.
And
right
Milford
there.
is a great place to visit.
Yep.
Yeah.
It has so much to offer visitors and people who want to live there, by the way, and bring their children and send them to the public schools.
Exactly.
So I feel like that is the big dream.
Yeah, definitely.
While Roger, I wouldn't say that's a measure of success. I think that is in the trajectory.
100%.
That's one measure, right? It's one thing.
Yep.
I have one more question, if I can, and I'm going to pivot a little bit. As an educator, I have to ask: have you? And it's perfectly okay if you haven't. Taya talked about this idea of work behind the camera, work with the equipment. Have you thought anything about, you know, commingling the education pathways with the space? Is that something that you've put pen to paper on yet, or is it something that's going to be in the future?
So if I understand your question correctly, we have every intention to use the space throughout the school day for educational purposes.
I love that.
So it will not be only from 2 to 8 o'clock or whatever it might be, right? It is, we are planning to integrate other parts of our school, including the arena spaces. So currently we have journalism type spaces where some of our kids already produce and film their own little mini shows, right? Well, this is what we're doing right now. So I feel like not only is it going to be its own pathway, but there'll be multiple paths that cross.
I love that. Yep.
And we and like that's a heavy lift, right? So we have a brilliant teaching and learning team. We have some instructional supervisors that are forward thinking and looking at the big picture of what that looks like across high schools. And if I may dream even further,
Do it.
I just think it has some roots in middle school as well.
100%.
Whether it is electives or after school programming, like kind of like little teasers, right?
Yep.
We believe that in in Milford, that we want middle school actually to be an exploratory experience. We still have a lot of work to do in that area. I can't say that we are doing that, but that's the goal. And so at the age of 12, like a lot of people are asking you, hey, do you know what you want to do when you grow up? Right? Your grandfather, with all, you know, good intention, will say, hey, little young man, do you think what you're going to do when you grow up? Right?
Yeah.
I know my grandfather would, you know, we're Italian.
Same.
We squeeze the cheeks, right?
Italian, big same. Yep.
Right. So, and I think that's a perfect age to start engaging.
Yeah.
Like, what are your interests?
Yep.
What are your passions?
Yep.
So I think part of the big dream is not only is this going to be like an integrated all day long space with other subject career pathway areas, but I feel like we should dip into the middle school somewhere along the way.
I could not
Not
agree
that I'm
more.
saying that we need full blown arenas,
Sure,
but
sure.
technical kind of spaces.
Definitely.
They could leverage the high school spaces.
Yeah, definitely. And because the reality is that kids are gaming in middle school and kids are gaming in elementary school too.
Yeah.
And, you know, different games, hopefully, but for appropriate for age levels. But that's the reality. So getting it to the kids where they're at that level is huge.
Yeah,
It
and
really is.
you know, the thing of it is, and the reason I ask, and you have a fantastic answer, by the way, is, you know, the future of education, that practical learning, that hands-on, right, that ability to touch, feel, work with something that they're really interested in. I think, you know, that's one of the things that I've always loved about gaming and esports is, you know, seeing my 12-year-old want to stream and be like, well, I have to set up OBS and I have to set up my mic and be like, okay, you can't stream until you're 13, right?
Correct.
So the middle school, you're absolutely right. He's going into high school this year and he's been chomping at the bit to stream. I'm like, we have to wait. But he knows all the equipment. He's done his research.
Yeah.
He knows more about how to run OBS and cameras and mics than, many adults. And I think that you have an opportunity, and you're a vanguard in the space, understanding, being a forward thinker in that. And I think you as a leader showing that and showing the success is going to be fantastic for the industry, because we can point to that as a success story. And as we see these, amazing outcomes. So great stuff.
Definitely.
So I think we have some fun questions.
We do.
We're going to move on to some fun
Whoa,
questions.
whoa! I wasn't told about fun.
We're having fun.
We're educators. We're not
all
allowed to be
serious
fun.
business here.
Yeah.
I understand the switch up.
So yeah, we do. We got a couple of we call this a speed round, but I'll tell you what, it never ends up being a speed round, because everybody wants their say, including the guest of honor. So we're gonna kind of kick this off. I think we can go through and just kind of rotate these questions.
Cool.
Pick and choose. We'll go until we're ready to move on and wrap. But I'm going to kick things off. And because I know I don't believe you looked at these yet. These are all going to be a surprise to you, which I'm really excited about.
As the educator, did not do her homework.
No, you were.
That's all right.
That's all right. You've been exceptional. So,
Yes.
now I'm going to kick this one to Roger halfway through, because we're going to get a question around what this means. But and because you say you don't play a lot of games, feel free to go into the physical world with this as well. What's your favorite cozy game? Here it
Cooking.
comes. Oh.
There we go. So have you seen any of the cooking simulator games that exist?
They're crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
Overcooked.
Can you
So-
speak my language for a minute?
So so one of the
Cooking simulator.
Oh,
so
yeah.
this is the thing about the gaming industry is and just video games in general is
You're making me feel old, man. Go ahead.
that will create these games about things that we do in real life.
Correct.
Right?
Okay.
So there's all these sim games that exist. This power wash simulator. Right?
Kids go crazy.
Kids go
over it.
crazy.
Power
for
washer?
Yeah.
During summer camps, they want to do nothing but clean that.
Yeah.
They've
Do
got to
you
get that
know
section
how
done before
fulfilling
lunch.
power washing
Oh,
is?
I know.
yeah,
That's why they
100%
created a
fulfilling.
game for
I
it.
mean,
My
Yes.
goodness.
We're going to need to download that on your computer.
We're gonna
We
have
got
to show you about
We're
that.
going to have to.
Please.
Yep.
So there's Overcooked, right?
Correct, there's Overcooked.
Dave the Diver, where you run a sushi bar. So there's all of these different games, and this is where I talk about the learning that you can have.
Oh, I'm going to be a rock star in those games.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
and
will,
so
100%.
you love to cook.
Yeah,
so what
absolutely.
we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to get her on stream playing a cooking game, a cozy
Please.
Get
cooking
Overcooked
Please.
going. Let's
Yeah.
go.
And Overcooked is fun because you can do it yourself, but you can play with other people too. That's the
No.
cool thing
You're
about
collaborating
gaming. You're
on all
collaborating.
the jobs
You're
in the
all in the
kitchen.
kitchen, and
It's
okay,
nuts.
I'm
And
making
listen,
the
and
burger.
there'll be no food that I have to eat at the end.
No.
So
Exactly.
therefore,
You're getting no calories.
helping me
exactly.
attain health goals.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
And it's a pretty high stress game, so you're burning
It is.
extra calories.
Exactly.
Wait,
exactly.
really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
I don't know if I
it's-
need more stress, but
Yeah, I know.
Well,
It's good stress.
It's
It's
as
good.
stressful
You
as-
stress.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
it is you stress.
Yeah, yes,
Good
yes.
good word usage.
That was
Yeah.
good. Well done.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
I was looking for that word.
it's as stressful as you want it to be.
Correct.
right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, well, that was good. So I'm going to kick it to Taya. You
Yeah.
got a question?
So, I kind of want to, and this might take a little bit more explaining as well, but I want to know, what is a gaming superpower for our world?
our world.
Yeah.
What's what's gaming superpower for our world?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today, right now,
Yeah, what's
Sure,
what's its superpower?
unconditional love.
Wow.
Good answer.
Good answer.
Maybe
That was a
we should
that was a
end it
mic
right
drop.
Yeah,
That was a mic drop.
She should
And
drop it, but
are we
it's
done
stuck
now?
to these-
Yeah, right now.
it's stuck
Yeah,
to these
thank you so
dang
much.
arms. Who's our production head?
So I love
I don't know.
that.
So is in the gaming world, there are lots of superpowers.
Yes.
Right? Is
Yep.
there? I'm going to be the questioner for a minute.
Yeah.
What's your superpower, Mark?
Ooh.
I'm gonna say, compassion. Yeah, I mean, for me, like, and I still have to work at it. Sometimes that superpower doesn't work exactly how I want it to, but I always want to work really hard to understand compassion and empathy, how other people are going to feel. And I've tried to refine it to the point where it doesn't hinder me, but I can still be there for everybody in my life and truly understand and demonstrate compassion regardless of what they're going through.
Love that.
Do you want me to go next?
Kick it next, yeah.
I'm gonna say connectivity. One of my favorite things. Oh, I love it. Is when I'm talking or meeting with someone and they're telling me about a goal, whatever it is, they want to go somewhere, they want to do something, and I can connect them with another person or another venue or another, restaurant to go to or whatever it is. It is where I live and breathe. I love it so much. Connecting someone with something, another person, and they can kind of, take whatever conversation or idea from there.
You're a connector. I was straddling that one and what I said.
Yeah.
I thought you were
going to
say
connecting
connector.
People.
I thought you were going to say connector.
Yeah.
That's right up there. Yeah.
Well, my superpower. I think forgiveness, right? There's a lot of hate and ugliness in this world, and people hold grudges, and I try to live by just get past it, right? And understand that people are coming from different places and spaces and needs and drivers, and forgiveness is powerful, right? And I think that that's one of the things that I really try to lean into is this idea of like, don't hold grudges. Life's way too short. There's not a lot of malicious actors, even though we may feel like they're malicious actors. It's a lot of people that are hurt people, and understanding that's a thing that exists. I love how she's an educator and she wasn't quite there, so she turned the question back on us.
She did turn it back.
You see what she did right there? How she just, I see you. She turned it right back around on us. I love that.
You guys did fabulous, though. Good job.
It was great.
I have a question. So you talked about some of the earlier games. If you were to think about a game earlier in your life, is there one that stood out for you? Like, did you love Oregon Trail? Did you love the original Mario franchise? Was there one that you're like have a core memory that you associate with?
Pac-Man, anything like that?
Pac-Man.
So, I think I could have a couple of answers to that, but if I go way back in memory banks,
let's go.
I remember being at our house in Mayapack, New York, and the cousins were all gathered around the Atari that we had, joystick with the red button.
Yep, I remember. I had one.
And I feel like Donkey Kong was the bane of our existence because you're getting the easier level, and then you go up another rung, and then you go up another one, and it's getting harder, and there are more barrels coming, and you got to get the girl, right? And like you're almost there, and bam, and then you got to start over again.
And then you're sitting there, and you have to take turns with everyone.
Yeah, and then the cousins like jumping and screaming. No, oh my God, no, you must be
What the heck did you do?
It was like this, like coming together. It was something that bonded us, right? And even though we were all on a black and white television, by the way, I don't know if people know what that is. Mark,
was it a flat screen?
What did you say? I missed it.
I said, was it a flat screen?
That's
no. So Mark. So back in the day, you would have
this
big chest TV that you would actually lay in front of. It was like half the wall, right? It was like these are TVs that they were built to last.
So literally, this was like this little thing on a coffee table.
Yep.
And all the cousins were sitting
just crunched in.
Yeah. Like a bunch of us, and I don't know, maybe it was like a 20-inch screen. This little teeny tiny thing. It's plugged into the wall. It's connected to the antenna on the roof.
Yep.
Do you know what that is, Mark?
Yeah, I'm playing a little bit, but yeah.
No, he's really not.
Yeah, you're playing along like I was playing along about a half hour ago.
Yeah, exactly.
I love
that's probably the memory that really sticks in my soul.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And I love that you said something there that I think resonates today, even for the kids that we're talking about for the future, is this idea of it's not just the game, it's the people around the game.
Yes.
It's the community. It's those memories of people you played with, right? And I love that that's what you went to. And a fun fact, that game almost lost a huge lawsuit, right? So Donkey Kong, I actually used that game specifically in a class where we talk about the fact that they got sued over the rights of King Kong because the studios argued that they had the rights to King Kong. It was a massive lawsuit. To protect the IP when that game came out.
No kidding.
So just a little fun fact.
Wow.
Well, if you guys have any final fun questions, I'll let you dig them up and say them now or else.
No, I'm good.
I want to throw the question that you just asked to you, Mark, and have each of us kind of go down the line and answer.
Okay.
That's how I would like to do my last question.
So which question?
Which game was like the most impactful to you?
Oh, gosh, I see our head of production just left the building. You know what? I'm gonna go with the obvious answer would be Counter-Strike, because that's really that was the most formative game around me competing, and that's what I fell in love with gaming. I get some criticism from some people for not loving some of the cozy games. And some of the
I don't know what you're talking about.
Listen.
Wait, what's a cozy game? Wait, I feel like I missed the question though. Now I feel like
so a cozy game is a game it's not competitive. You can relax. You can turn off.
Oh, so I answered right.
Yeah.
All right.
So I would say Counter-Strike, but I'm gonna say that a close second to that for me is going to be StarCraft.
Okay.
And the reason is because it has a story that's relevant. I got StarCraft, which is also a competitive title today, one of the most popular in the world. It's still very powerful, right? In my Scholastic Book Fair magazine. That is no joke.
What?
The best day of the year.
I ordered that in the Scholastic Book Fair.
Amazing.
Yes.
Look at that.
And I kid you not, I got to the point where I was talking to my mom and Emily about this, my wife, and I said, I've got to look this up. And I looked it up and found a Reddit forum with somebody that validated, like, no, they sold StarCraft and Warcraft in the Book Fair mag. And so that's going to be a big one for me because I got it through a school resource. Yeah. And it's relevant to this conversation.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love it. Roger?
Me, the core memory game. So there's a lot, right? And obviously Mark's going to want me to say Minecraft because I am a cozy gamer. But realistically, it's probably, either the original Mario or Duck Hunt because I am the latchkey generation, right? I am that, I was of that age. And, I didn't play sports when I was in 7th and 8th grade. I played baseball for a while. But I would go home after school and I would just go play my NES, right? And so that was something that I spent a lot of time with playing, playing Mario, playing Duck Hunt. Those games were hugely impactful for me. The what we call retro games now. If we think of more modern games, I'm a cozy gamer, so I'm a big believer in you use the word eustress, which I love. This idea of using games to keep me balanced, right? And so now gaming about where Mark and I go back and forth on this idea of competitive versus balanced. I love the Stardew Valleys and the Minecrafts where I can just chill and just after a long day decompress. It's my glass of wine, right?
I love it.
And what about you, Taya?
So for me, I'm going to kind of answer this with two different moments. When my sisters and I were first given a Nintendo DS, there was Nintendogs. Okay, it was this game where you got to adopt dogs and take care of them. Aww. So you'd pet them, you'd give them a bath, you'd take them on a walk, you'd feed them and all this kind of stuff. And my sisters, I have two other sisters, and they're twins. We all had to share 2 Nintendo DSs. So we had to share this game, this dog game. So I remember that being one of the first times where I got a game where I was like, oh my God, I love playing this so much. But then I also want to answer the question in terms of impact for me, because I'm not a gamer in the sense that I play video games first person shooters or Stardew Valley or anything like that. I consume gaming content. And what was the first game that was the most impactful for me in consuming gaming content was from YouTube, and it was Minecraft.
Of course.
It was this channel called Tobuscus, and he, at the time, he just made these funny videos with this funny voice of him playing Minecraft. And from that point on, I've been consuming video gaming content for the last, 10, 12 years or something like that. So that's truly what started it for me way back then. I think I was in middle school at that point. Most recently, I can also answer with, once COVID hit, Valorant, watching people play Valorant on Twitch was also a huge impactful game with me. And it's kind of, each of those was at a different phase in my life, right? So I was a little girl playing a Nintendo DS, and then I got a little bit older. Internet started to become more of a thing, started watching gaming on YouTube, and then COVID 2020, a whole other trajectory for gaming, and also just the world in and of itself. So three-part answer.
Great answer. You know what? You made me think of what she mentioned earlier about explaining to parents, explaining their kids the parents explaining that their kids are watching gaming content is always fun to do.
Yes,
right. It's always fun to be like, yes, this is what they're consuming. They're watching people play video games.
I always get the question, why don't you just play it? I'm like, but if I play the game, it's not going to be as good or as fun as that.
Well, and that's
I'd
what
rather
brings you
just
joy.
not.
Yeah.
I'd rather I just want to watch you.
Well, there are
play.
spectators that just watch the Masters last
Exactly.
week.
Right? Exactly.
Right.
It's no different, is it?
Yeah.
I mean,
you love watching tennis, or
You know what
I
came to
use it.
mind?
Yeah.
Sorry. You know what came to mind, Taya, as you're talking, and we haven't really hit this topic.
Yeah.
But since I'm going to turn the tables on you, we haven't really talked about the gender discrepancies in the world
100%.
of gaming, and I just thought of that when you were talking about your sisters, right? So,
Yeah.
While we have some female participation on our teams, they are wildly discrepant in numbers, and I hope we get to the point one day where we're just saying that this is a female sport also.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I hope that what we're doing in Milford encourages all of our young women to own that and be able to step out and say, yeah, I'm a gamer.
I really, really hope so too. That's kind of when I was sharing earlier. I wish I had this space that you guys are creating when I was younger, because as a girl who enjoys watching games, it's always been like, oh, my boy cousins, they're the ones that are playing like the shooting games. Like, it's a space for them. And then as the internet grew more and more, and you're watching videos and stuff like that, and then there's compilations of like, a woman who's playing a game, but then all these other people in the call are like yelling at them to go back to the kitchen and make a sandwich. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to be yelled at when like I'm just trying to enjoy playing a game. So I'm just going to stick to watching it. I'm not actually going to play it. I'm just going to stick to watching it instead, because I don't want to deal with that. So it hasn't been a welcoming space. And at the same time, it's come a far way. But also at the same time, it really hasn't. And that can kind of apply to many more things. But
I wonder if there's advice that Roger and Mark, you guys can give me. As someone that's trying to create
I'll
a
chime
space.
in on that. So previous episode, Coach Jonathan Martin from Post University, shout out. He's done a great job with this. It's creating safe spaces, right? And to your point, right, having very little tolerance for what we call capital B bullying, right? That the ill intent, right? There's a difference between in-group and out-group behavior, right? And social spaces sometimes can make it easy to be more toxic than you be in real life, right?
Correct.
And so I bring up John because we actually just had a LAN event last weekend where we sent our Overwatch team, and it's 70-80% young women, right? So we were noted in this event that we were predominantly young women going, and I think it's the idea of just creating safe spaces and normalizing girls who game. Right. And just saying, because you mentioned this earlier, it's a great equalizer. It is. We have neurodivergent kids in the school that are now winning championships, right? And they never had an opportunity before. We have young ladies that we create safe spaces, and we make sure that we set the boundaries of play, and so that they can feel like they can be their authentic self, right? And I think that's the thing, is just always looking at whatever the demographic is are we creating a space that they can be their authentic self? Yep. And then they'll come, right? And then they'll play, because it is a 50-50 demographic. It's a 50-50 mix, and you're underserving the population if you don't do that. And so
100%.
It absolutely is. I think we can't ignore how bad it is.
Yeah.
it's bad.
So define, what does that mean?
When we look at what's happening in the online space, you have the extremes. So there's a lot of beautiful, amazing things happening, and I'll come to that.
Yeah.
But step one is we can't ignore that women are treated poorly online. Women and femme-identifying individuals are treated like garbage, overwhelming. Like I would say on a percentage basis online, they get on the microphone, they want to talk, they're treated poorly. So I think we have to identify that. And I don't have all the answers, by the way. I want to preface this because we have been fighting for this in the efforts through Affinity Esports. We'll do the same thing through Connecticut Esports. We are trying to break through. It's not easy. I think you have legacy views of parents, the way that they think. And again, I do think this comes into the household even today.
100%.
What girls should be doing and well, actually, do you game? No, I'm not a gamer. Or no, they're not a gamer. Well, do you play any games? Yeah, they love Roblox and Minecraft. And you're like, well, then they're a gamer.
Yeah,
then they're a gamer. But to keep it simple, I would say there has to be female role models, strong female role models in the space.
Right.
In the high school programs, with the young girls at the middle school or even in the elementary school, like they have to see people they can relate to in the space. And we've worked really hard to do that. And again, it's slow. We still have a lot of programs in the work that I do and that we do where it's 10%, 15%, or sometimes 0% that are girls. And sorry, Taya, the only other thing I was going to say is that we are seeing breakthroughs. Yeah. I've seen two things come up recently that are massive. We've seen the first female enter a top tier Valorant team. So we've seen a female break into the top tier. Think of a woman joining, a men's World Cup team, or it's the equivalent of them playing at a top tier multi-gender team, right? That's one. Two, we've seen a top tier all women's Counter-Strike team not break through the top tier, but they are competing. They're pushing games against some of the top tier all men's teams. It's amazing.
Yep.
So we are seeing some progress.
Yeah. The only way to combat what we're talking about right now is it's got to come at all different levels. 100%.
Spot on.
All different levels from the school level to the college level to the professional level, gamer level, and then also just like the way that I consume content. I watch Twitch streamers who are also YouTubers at the same time. I mainly watch female Twitch streamers, and that wasn't really a thing like however many years ago. There weren't a lot of top female streamers, and there's still really, a lot of the top streamers are males. It's gotten better, but it's definitely not at the same level. And that can just be a commentary on society in general. But regardless, the reason why I felt so, more drawn to watching people game is because I see top female streamers gaming. And that's it. That's why I feel more comfortable about it, because I see people who are like me.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And I didn't misspeak, but there was one other example, and because I repost these things to LinkedIn, because I've got Emily and I have a 3 and 5 year old. We want them to come into this industry if they want to be here, and for it to be more progressed when they get to that point, right? And have more opportunities. There was a Marvel Rivals team, Sentinels, who took on their first female pro player.
Yeah, and you're
in
saying
the top tier.
Yeah, and you're saying something that's really interesting, because Taya's talked about this, about that really pro level international national scene, right? That drove everything, and we're going back to the infrastructure, right? And what you're creating in your school systems is the infrastructure to, normalize co-ed play, right? Normalize this co-ed play, because it is co-ed, and we'll 5, 7, 10 years, we're going to see the industry potentially, hopefully, change a little bit, because they came up right with their peers playing in the elementary, high school space. Yeah. That's one of the things that sort of broken in the industry, in this idea that we were very pro heavy, which dominated leaned white male, and now we're having to break in. But now when we build these infrastructures for everybody, I think we'll see some natural progression. So just keep doing all the awesome work you're doing.
Yep.
Yeah. Amazing. All right. Well, I think it's time for us to wrap. I've got two kind of closing questions, and you can make them quick if you like, or long. We're not on an actual time limit. We can do what we want. What advice do you have for students, parents, or community leaders that are either in this space or outside of it looking in? What's the most important or the few things you would advise them on?
Well, the very first thing that comes to mind is some advice for our students. Because at the end of the day, that's who I'm going to serve.
Right.
Those are my primary concerns. I would tell students to never lose your voice for self-advocacy, because you mentioned it briefly, Mark, but that day when we were in the auditorium at Foran, it was the same year that we were facing a $1.8 million reduction to the proposed budget that we were putting forward. And man, I'm so proud, but I was putting on the line that day when I had students say, well, what are you going to do as a superintendent? And considering that you've been reduced almost $2 million, I'm like, first of all, good for you for staying up to date with local politics.
Yeah.
And good for you for not backing down.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so my advice to young people is, even in the face of adversity, continue to self-advocate.
Amazing.
I love it.
Great advice.
Yeah.
What makes you proud or excited about this industry and Connecticut's future? You can make it personal to you or the city, but answer as you like.
That's a little bit of an emotional question, actually. Because these are hard times. And if I'm thinking about what makes me proud, is that I'm in a state, I'm in a city, I'm in a school district, and I work for a board of ed who's going to stand on what they believe in. And I know this is related to the gaming industry. But
Answer as you like.
in that regard, that alignment is like the stars lining up for our young people in this state, in the city of Milford, and in particular in Milford Public Schools. And that provides me with hope and encourages me for the future.
Yep.
Amazing.
Love that.
Mic drop, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was yeah.
Amazing. So, in closing, I'd love to know I'm just going to say this before I ask where people can find you. For me, I've met a lot of successful people, and I'm probably speaking for the list of hosts here, but one thing that has always stood out to me about you, and it is such a rare thing, is that you meet successful people that sometimes just brush you off, sometimes don't want to give a thing the time of day. And I'm constantly impressed by how, and maybe this is because of your childhood, maybe it's because of what your parents brought in as immigrant parents, but you're so connected to community, you're connected to ideas, you believe in your students, and you've always shown me the time of day, and that means a lot to me.
And I love you, man.
Oh, thank you.
I love you, Emily.
Thank you. So where can people find you? Where can they look up what you're doing in Milford and support you?
Oh, yeah. All right, so we're just doing great things in Milford Public Schools. Let's just go ahead and say that. Thank you, Board of Ed.
Yes.
Thank you, City of Milford.
Let's go.
They can find us at milforded.org. They could email me at acutaia@milforded.org.
I've learned how to spell that too. I'm pretty proud of myself.
Yeah, we'll work on the pronunciation.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's a lot of vowels.
I've heard you say it a few times. And I'm not
vowels.
getting that right. I gotta work on it.
You still don't get mine right, so we're good.
I mean,
Caramanica.
Roger got it. Roger got it right. I don't know.
With the last name like Caramanica, you gotta learn it.
There's a lot of
I'll work
vowels
on
in
it.
that whole thing.
There is, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we're in Milford, Connecticut. 17 miles of shoreline.
Yep.
Lots of good eats.
Lots of good eats.
14 schools, 5,200 kids, 590 of the best teachers in the world, and incredible school leaders and district leaders. And I will tell you, the most supportive Board of Ed I've ever worked for. They support dreams. They encourage dreaming for young people, and you can't ask better for that than that. So, and incredible partners who have studios in Milford on 125 Old Gate Road. Did I get that right?
125 Old Gate Lane.
Old Gate Lane.
Yeah.
Across from Pops and.
I've heard you say dream a couple of times tonight. There's a phrase that I love, and I should know the podcast I heard it on. I should quote the right person. I don't remember. But go into every situation expecting magic to happen. And that is something I live by. And you're definitely making that happen. So we're going to close this up. I want to thank our hosts, Dr. Roger Karamanica, Taya Lionetti, and our amazing guest today.
Let's see if he can get the
Dr.
name
Anna
right.
Cutaia.
Anna Cutaia. Woo!
Anna Cutaia. Let's go. Cutaia. I'm working on it. And to our sponsors, one more shout out, Achilles Nest, Reverie Brewing. Thank you, everybody. That is going to be so many cameras. That is going to be a wrap. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.